Hello, good people. It's your boy Carcino here. I guess that's the alert to let people know that I am now live. Hit the like button for Black Rob. Black Rob, former bad boy artist. You know, we've known of his health condition only about a week ago, right after DMX had just passed, and he was saying, how sad he was about DMX. And like it just came out of nowhere because people didn't know anything about his situation or anything. It just once we saw him on the screen and looking like that, talking from a hospital bed and seeing the poor condition he was in, it was very dire. Well, he's from Harlem. Uh, he's from Harlem, and when Spoonie G was some of the guys he listened to, Slick Rick. Like he was in a group called the Schizophrenics, and I remember his name was Bacardi Rob at the time, and they didn't pick up the Schizophrenics, and they tried to get a record deal because they was like, people can't even spell schizophrenic. That's just too crazy of a name. Can you kind of think of a hip hop way to reduce it down? Like we're the skits or something. And they just weren't having it. Plus the songs wasn't gelling. Plus, he was the only guy to really step out. His voice, his sound. But he did get the attention of Bad Boy's staff when Puffy got his re-up from Biggie's success, Craig Mack's success, Faith Evans' success. And they decided that it was time to expand. Like he got cut a check for like 40 plus million. Clive Davis opened up a budget for Bad Boy and gave him like 40 extra million. So the first thing they did was sign all these new artists. They had the Locks, they brought in Mace, and they brought in Black Rob. And they were expanding the roster to say, okay, we finna build this thing into a dynasty. So that was the goal. Don't forget to hit the like button. This is before Shyne. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. So as Bad Boy was expanding their roster, to try to, you know, be a real record label now instead of just this little clique. Um, Before they can even really put songs out, you know, um, Black Rob gets signed, then Big is gone right after that. And I still remember on the song Victory when Biggie's like, Black Rob joined the mob. There ain't no replacing him. And people's like, wow, yeah, man, I remember that. Black Rob, Biggie did shout out Black Rob. I'm like, yeah, shout out Black Rob. Because Black Rob had just signed, right along with Mace and the Locks. So They signed at like the near the end of '96, like around that era, '96 they signed. So Black Rob became a member. Don't forget to hit the like button for Rob, man. Depp wasn't there yet. Depp was coming, but he wasn't there. So the times were changing. G Depp came, I believe, after Big was gone. After Big left, G Depp, you know, the structuring was redone. Puff Daddy and the Family, their album became No Way Out. It changed from Harlem, a Hell Up in Harlem, changed to No Way Out. So that changed the direction of the album. Missing You with Biggie, the tribute song did so much and made so much money. It was crazy. That one single sold like 5 million records. Single. It came as a maxi tape. It was doing album numbers. It was on the radio all the time. And that set the foundation to where that was going to big up like college funds, everything for Biggie's kids, his mom. And that was great that that happened for him. I just wish Tupac had something like that done for him. Like nothing was like done. It was like the weirdest thing ever. Like nothing was really done for him. And except for Naughty by Nature came out years later and did a song. You're like, man, nothing for Pac, you know? Now, when this came a situation that a lot of people were focusing on, like nationwide, it was starting to get worldwide attention. And once it started to get worldwide attention, man, you knew that it was going to be a big thing. So Black Rob was preparing for his debut album, which was going to be later, you know. And whoa, like I said, and this is so weird because Black Rob got signed because he was from Harlem, and they chose him over DMX. DMX was coming in with the locks, and he got on Money, Power, Respect, and blazed the track and did all this. And Puffy, they was trying to get Puff to sign him when they signed the locks. And Puffy was like, nah, I got Black Rob. And X was livid because he told him no. And it was like, yo, we'll take the locks, but we're not taking DMX. And he was like, he too street. Puff was like, he too street. Like Rob, I could put him on a club record. I can't put that guy on a club record. I just can't. I can't work with it. I already got Black Rob as the streetest guy I know. Like I got him. I'm good on that. So man, how X was. Tell him I said suck my dick. So right when the buzz started to build around DMX, and that DMX was about to sign a deal with Def Jam, Puffy got wind of it and was like, whoa, wait a minute. I might be making a mistake here. He tried to call and intervene and was like, look, I know what Def Jam finna offer you. I'm willing to double that. Don't sign that deal. And X was, what? I gave you a chance. And you basically spit in my face, dog. Tell him I said suck my. I ain't signing with you. So that was it, you know. So whoa. That beat and how it was would have been went to DMX. All of that. Doom, 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 doom. Whoa. Have you imagined DMX on Whoa? I met a bad chick uptown. She was whoa. He would have lit Whoa up. Whoa was already a big song. And the beat was DMX would have lit that up like Christmas. It would have been bigger than Christmas. X would have tore that song up. And that was what we talked about when X had passed, was about that situation. How Black Rob, and then right after Black Rob shows up in the hospital and he was sick, right when we were doing the live stream. How eerie is that? So he ends up doing Life Story. And Life Story was so hard and rugged. Like, I Love You Baby is like one of my favorite songs on there. That was like one of the songs people didn't really play that much. I love you, baby. You drive me crazy. I love you, baby. Now, he came out with the hit album, right? Don't forget, hit the like button one time for Black Rob. Whoa drops is big, is everywhere. So Whoa was burning up the charts. Then they signed Shyne shortly after Big died, only because people was in a bidding war saying he sound like Big. And it really pissed off Little Kim because Little Kim was now being managed by Puffy, and she didn't like it at all. She didn't want to have nothing to do with Shyne. Like she even dissed him on her record, the Notorious K.I.M. Get it? Shyne, trying to sound like Big in your rhymes. Yeah, she was like, this is an act. This dude is trying to sound like Biggie. It's just the most disrespectful thing you could ever do. So she looked at it as disrespect. She took it as disrespect. So when you see stuff like that, you go, oh, okay. So Bad Boy was burning the streets. A bad boy. Do 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 do. I mean, it was great, deep. So Bad Boy had the streets on lock. Like they brought in Sean Poe, and that kind of took away a little bit of what was happening with Black Rob as far as promotion of Life Story and everything else. So when Whoa blew up the way it did, they started to say, okay, all right, we got to start coming with this Black Rob. People love Black Rob more than they like a lot of people. But at that time, Life Story hit came out 3 years later. They pushed Black Rob all the way to the end because he was on, Hell Up in Harlem and all this stuff. But Black Rob album ended up getting pushed back because they put Shyne in between it because he sounded like Big. And Puff gave him a huge signing bonus. So when Whoa came out, here comes Whoa, like right after that. 99, 2000. Joe Hooker did the You Don't Know Me. Can I Live with the Locks on there? I mean, that's a Harlem record. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you that right now. this this is a Harlem record. If anybody want to know what a Harlem record is, the Streets of Harlem record, Life Story is it. I mean, his album, I believe, got 4.5 mics in the source. That's almost a perfect album. I kid you not. I think when Life Story dropped, it got like 4.5 mics. That Jasmine song he did with Carl Thomas, it showed his range on what he could do. And then, of course, the street anthem, I dare you to come for me, walk with. See, people didn't realize I Dare You was out way before Whoa. I heard I Dare You. I dare you to come for me. I Dare You was everywhere, dog. That was bigger than Whoa for us. That was the street record. That was the street record. I Dare You. I dare you to come for me. Man, dude, that was sick. I Dare You. I'm probably going to play that right now. And Spacio was the club song. That's the one Puff chose. I Love You, Baby is the one I would have chose. I love you, baby. He said that song was on the Slam movie. I gotta go back and listen to that. Oh, you said LL Cool J sample. I'm like, man, I gotta go back and listen to that. It's LL sample on that. Yeah, get the likes up, man. It's Black Rob. Hit the like time. Hit the like button for Black Rob. He said I was on No Way Out. That's what I'm saying. We heard that way before Whoa. And it's on the album too. It's on his album. Now, after the success of that song and everything, right? After all the success that they're having with the album, everything that's going on, the major problem started to happen was like Rob couldn't let go of the streets, man. He just couldn't. This dude got 2004 got arrested and charged for stealing jewelry out of a doggone hotel, about $6,000 worth of jewelry. He had a break-in and grand larceny charge back in 2004. He never went to court for it, and he got sentenced to 7 years in prison. He kept going back to jail. Now, this is what I don't understand. His second album is getting ready to drop. He's got all these charges going from the Black Rob report is going to come out. And everybody's like, okay, here we go. We getting ready to do your launch and you fighting a case going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like you basically like, what are you doing? Why are you doing these things? And that album is underrated. It has some songs on there. Like y'all know who killed him. I used to play that a lot. It's a lot of street anthem records. The Watch Your Movements with Akon, that was on there. But you can't promote a record when you know, your artists keep going to jail. So everyone's blaming Puffy. Talking about where was Puff at? Black Rob was in jail. Dog, Buff, once he got convicted to do 7 years in jail, you know, what he was released. And he signed with Buck, Buckshot. He was on Duck Down when he get his third album, Game Tested, when he got out of jail in 2010. He served like 4 years and stuff. So I mean, why was he doing these things? He didn't have to go out and do these things that he did. You know, that was the confusing part because it's like, dude, you signed the Bad Boy as an artist. Why would you do these things? You know, I mean, Shyne did what he did and ended up not even being in the country no more because he wasn't a citizen. Why? Why is it Puffy fault that what happened to Black Rock? That is not Puffy's responsibility. This guy had a manager. That means someone's managing him. Puffy wasn't his manager. His contract was terrible. I'm quite sure they all had some bad contracts or contracts but that's your manager's fault. You know what I'm saying? That's your manager's fault. If there was some clauses or things you worked out, you do that on the re-up. Biggie didn't have a great contract. None of these dudes are. I don't think there's a artist walking through the door with a great contract because you don't know what. If you're a record company, I'm not going to put my record company at risk banking you. You see what I'm saying? Who does that? I'm not gonna put my record company at risk and saying I'm just gonna be, hey, I'm unprotected. I'm just going out there. And then you have a successful album, and then you got an out clause. You're like, yeah, man, I know you stuck it out with me, man, but this is it, man. I'm gonna go. Yeah, some other label, man, they offer me way more money, man. But thanks for that contract you gave me, man. You gave me freedom, man, to make that choice, and I'm a bounce. Now, everybody look like, man, that artist is crazy. Why would he do that? That dude was so loyal to him because you guys think the artists are loyal. They're not. They're snakes. They go for the highest dollar. They just like players on the team, dog. They are like the biggest snakes and worms you've ever seen in your life. So the fact that the contracts, everything that's in the contract is there for you. So when you serve your time or do what you do on the record label, you renegotiate, just like you do in the NBA. Your contract is up, you did your records, now you're in a position now to renegotiate to better terms. That's what you're working for. But when you can't let go of the streets and you can't let go of your vices, these things come back to haunt you. You see what I'm saying? When you know what you're doing in a record contract. A lot of these guys were young, they didn't know what they were doing. Master P contracts was probably the fairest of all of them because he treated everybody like family. He felt like if they knew and learned something about the business, they can go out and everybody could have something, and he was, but Master P had a different type of connection. Master P was basically a, he owned his company and he was doing the distribution. He signed a distribution deal with like the record company directly. So he wasn't coming in as just some record label holder and all this stuff. He actually came in. Absolutely. He actually came in and did that. So, well, you got to look at it. When people do certain things, you got to start asking yourself the question and say, is this something I really want to be involved in? You have to question yourself sometimes because those situations kind of like don't improve if you don't realize what it is the situation is. So when Rob got out of jail, Puff wasn't really dealing with him. He was on his own. Yeah, he was released from Bad Boy. He was free to go about his own way. So that was on him. But over the years, Black Rob was suffering a lot of illnesses that was taking a toll on him, and we never knew he had some conditions over throughout his life. He was still doing shows. People was hiring him to come out and do shows and things like that, but he was battling health conditions. We don't know what caused his conditions. We can assume drinking, but he had a kidney failure, and due to the fact he had, kidney failure, that well, these things led to a unsettling situation. Yeah, well, he passed away earlier today from kidney failure. He needed a kidney like yesterday. So he had kidney failure. Liver wasn't that great. So his organs was failing him in the hospital. And he basically, they sent him home hoping he could recover, but he really was coming home to, he didn't want to go out in the hospital, I guess, plus he didn't have any insurance, nothing like that. So they just let him go, you know, you know, it's, it's sad. It's a very sad story, man. But I remember all the good things he did, man, on the mic. And when they did, and the saga continues, and they had Black Rob on there, man, I was like, all right, Black Rob for to get it in. And, you know, let's get it. I was like, had high hopes for them, man. And only thing you could do as people is learn from this. When people have pitfalls in their life, don't just report on it and talk about it. Actually learn from these things. These are life lessons. Saying, okay, I gotta avoid these pitfalls. I can't be a slave to drinking so much to where I'm every night I'm just tore up. Can't do that. Your body will eventually fail you if you continuously go down this path. Don't wait to try to fix something once the problem is there. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to wait to do that because by then it'll be too late and there's no way out. Don't try to fix it once there's a problem. Take care of yourself. Be smart about your business. Stay focused because this is your life. This is your livelihood. You know, I got to take heed to that. There's some business that I need to be taken care of that I'm like, man, I'm a little behind because I've been just wasting time doing so many things on my own. You know, like everything, when everything's on your head, you know, you got to move around and do so much, but it's things that I'm neglecting that I need to be taken care of like ASAP. So my priorities is a little messed up because I'm having fun, trying to make sure I have fun, you know, getting silly. So you need to do the right thing. So I'm not somebody that's doling out the advice. I have to take my own advice that I'm giving you. I tell you, I mean, that's one thing about Black Rob. He was so Harlem. He was the streets of Harlem. You know, people forget not everybody in Harlem is glitzy and glamorous. Harlem got some hardcore street guys, and I'm like Black Rob represented them streets of Harlem. He did. Every time he rapped, you heard his songs, you heard the streets of Harlem. I'll be the East Side Soprano, Rob Marciano. Yeah, I see you, Big Giz. All right, hit the like time one time for Black Rob, man. I'm gonna get out of here. God bless y'all, man. Be safe out there.